Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your Precious Metals Update. I'm Melody Neal.
I'm Greg Neal from the Gold Ore Store in St. George, Utah. We're elated to be here again and looking forward to doing this on a bi-weekly basis so that we can get the information out as quickly as we're able to. We're excited to be doing podcasts now, and hopefully you are too, to see us. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be talking a lot about what's going on in the precious metals industry and how the bankers have manipulated us at a level now that none of us have ever dealt with what we're dealing with right now. And so it's a pretty incredible situation what's happened. We've all felt a lot of pain. Those of us that are in this industry are dealing with it as the best we possibly can right now. But there is a critical date that's actually coming up that we wanted to talk about. That's the 27th of February.
Let's just remind our viewers what happened.
Yeah.
So today is February 11th. It's in the 8 o'clock hour of the morning. Mm-hmm. It's spot price of silver is $84.24, and it's actually up $3.29 on silver, and gold is $5,066.70. That's up $39.90.
On January 29, we had the largest increase in gold that has ever been seen. We had the highest amount that's ever been experienced in silver. On both those days, we actually hit $121 and I believe 23 cents on silver.
There was a media frenzy campaign hyping up the precious metals, and it went clear up to $121 an ounce. Mm-hmm. And then the bankers, they orchestrated this. They dumped trillions of dollars of paper contracts onto the market when it was at its highest, and it crashed the market down $40 an ounce, which is unprecedented.
It's been...
They took all that physical gold. Mm-hmm. People were rushing in to sell. People were rushing in to buy. They wanted a piece of that, and then wham, gut punch.
Yeah, it's been a painful re-lesson, I guess is how I would put it, because we've been here before, but not to the levels that we just experienced. It's been pretty brutal, I will say, and we got caught in it in such a way that it put us into a compromising situation as far as what we purchased, what price we paid for it, and where we're at right now as far as our sale rate.
Well, and we'll get through it, but there were hundreds of little coin shops like ours that didn't open their doors again.
No, it absolutely just
put them
devastating.
out of business. It completely shut them down. Mm-hmm. We're hearing rumors of huge banks back east that actually closed their doors.
Yes.
Big banks that you know of are shutting down branches all over, even right here in St. George. The main Wells Fargo branch got shut down. Yeah,
that was several years ago.
They probably have a reason for that.
Well, they have a statement about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a situation that has been incredibly painful for those of us actually in the industry. Those of us, those individuals that have been stacking.
That was good news for them.
Well, sure. I mean, they had an opportunity to buy on a dip, which is where it's at right now, which is pretty funny because there's just sub $85 on silver, and gold's actually over $5,000. So it's very high, even still, but you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, this thing is going to go to levels that, folks, if you're not taking advantage of what's going on right now, and you are a stacker of precious metals, what's wrong with you? I mean,
let me just talk to the single women out there.
Okay.
That the single moms, the single women, the widows, or whoever who are in a situation where they don't have a retirement, they have a 9-to-5 job, they're just doing everything that they possibly can. I want to tell you, we have clients, women that were in that situation. They're in their retirement years now, but they bought 1 ounce of silver every month. Silver is not something that you're going to flip like a house.
Right.
It's a long-term investment, and you buy a little bit as you can. The market's up, the market's down, but over time, and you invest in time and you hang on to that, over time, there isn't another investment that pays out like gold and silver.
No, there really isn't. And
when they come in to sell it, they're not paying taxes on it. Nobody knows they have it. You know, they aren't paying taxes on it to get it.
Right.
And they can just do a little bit at a time. Instead of putting money in a savings account, they can get physical precious metals. They can hoard it, keep it safe, and then when they need it for that unexpected bill or that unexpected life change, you have something that you can trade.
It's really true. One of the things we really wanted to discuss today was the fact that you really, truthfully, you do not have much more time as far as buying at the levels that the COMEX is at right now. Folks, we're about to not only explode past 100 again, but we're going to go way beyond 200 and into 300, and we're going to see this within the next couple months at most.
Well, even if it doesn't happen that quick, let's say it takes a couple of years. What other investment could you identify, or 401k plan that you're in that has performed at the levels that gold and silver did?
To my knowledge, there is none, but I'm sure someone is going to come forward with some kind of information, and leave it in the comments, and we'll do our best to get back to that. But obviously, we are in the business to buy and sell precious metals, and so we have an affinity for this particular product in our world. However, it's going to be very difficult to find anything that has actually had the growth of particularly silver, because it got up to basically it actually bypassed 300% by the time it got to 121, because it started within a year's time. It started at about $28.50 and ended up at $121 and some change. That's incredible, absolutely amazing growth. And the silver stackers have been looking for this, for many of them, for 40 or 50 years, especially those that got caught up more recently in the 2011 debacle, where by the time 2012 started, and it started dropping dramatically, and I believe it went down to around $12. And it was that way for a long, long time. It was staying in that $20 range for an extended period of time, that people were just fed up, and they got tired.
Here, on Kitco, Kitco, which is a website that we follow because it has the live market stream on it. But let me just show you the 10-year chart of what precious metals have done. And of course, you can see it just went up and it went down, but it was pretty steady until just recently. And you can look that up on kitco.com. But yeah, we've been told for how many years? Silver's going to break out. Silver's going to break out. Silver's going to break out.
And I've always felt it. I've been talking about it on the radio for many years now.
And for 10 years, years, it didn't do anything really.
No, it really didn't.
It just kind of stuck there, and people decided to move their silver investments into cryptos because they felt like their money would be doing something, and then this happened, and this is just the beginning. I mean,
it is. There's a critical date that's actually going to happen this month.
Let's talk about that. What does that mean?
Yeah, so on the 27th of February, which is just coming up real fast, actually, it's identified as a key day of reckoning, is the terminology that's being used. The first notice day for the March delivery from the COMEX, where the low registered inventory could lead to a physical squeeze. It's not could lead to a physical squeeze. It's going to lead to a physical squeeze. The inventory drain. The registered COMEX inventories have declined by 70% since 2020, with a rapid acceleration in early 26, where nearly 50 million ounces left vaults in January 26 alone. Just last month alone, January 2026, 50 million ounces have drained from the COMEX. The $4 million context, where some reports mention 400 million ounces in total. This often refers to the total inventory, including eligible metal, not immediately available for delivery, while only the registered portion, roughly 100 million ounces, is available to settle contracts. You heard that, right?
Well,
there may be 100 million ounces of actual metal available, but you've got a demand of 400 million ounces against that. We have a very serious problem here.
How can they sell when it doesn't exist?
This is what they've been allowed to do for decades.
This is what's so maddening, because how can you have a product that is not on the shelves, that there's such a great demand, and the price goes down?
Right.
How does that happen?
Well,
I mean, I have something that they can't get a hold of.
Right.
They can't mine it fast enough.
Yes.
And the price is going down.
Yeah. It's the paper contracts that these bankers are allowed to, and also wealthy individuals. There was a Chinese billionaire that actually pulled this on the 29th, as well. J.P. Morgan was heavily involved in this transaction. These people don't have really any care or concern for anyone but themselves and their banking institutions they represent. The fallout is devastation. Absolute devastation for those of us that actually do trade physical precious metals exclusively. We don't deal in paper contracts, paper promises, paper lies, and deceit, and we never will. We only deal in physical precious metal that you can actually hold in your hands and have and hold, and do transactions with immediately if you need to. We can't even discuss how many times individuals have come into our store with situations in their lives that they needed to rectify right now, and because we actually purchase. Try that at Costco. Go to Costco and buy gold and silver or whatever. But try taking it back. It's the first thing that I'm aware of that Costco has declined on returns. Why? Because they're actually not bullion dealers. They're literally a wholesale house, period, and that's it. And when they got into our business initially, it was rather interesting because it was a little bit painful because of their price points, even though we could meet those numbers. On the other side of it, when people started to want to return or they were returning to Costco, all of a sudden they realized, oh my gosh,
where do I go?
Yeah, what do I do now? I invested in this item now, and now I've got to do something with it.
So there's this viral video going around talking about the changes in the reporting of cash transactions.
Yeah.
Can you address that a little bit? Because what if I bring my gold or my silver and I've had it for a while and I've got a little bit of a profit and I want to cash out. Are you going to report that?
Well, our reporting is based on any of the responsibilities of our company that are to be followed, we follow. So situations where, here's the thing, they're really referring to cash. Okay.
Did the limits change? They're saying that it dropped to $3,000. If you do a cash transaction for $3,000 in cash, that you have to take my Social Security number and report it to the IRS.
Yeah. So if this is are you referring to an individual that's actually coming in to buy with cash
or sell?
Yeah. So in our case, when we purchase, we pay by check. We've always paid by check, and we always will pay by check.
And as long as we pay by check, then it's not a reportable
that's correct.
Incident. Yeah. But did they lower the limits to 3,000?
I believe they did, actually.
I couldn't find any evidence of that.
Yeah, well, we'll do some research and double check that to make sure our information is correct.
I actually looked into it last night, and I couldn't find any evidence that anything has shifted from the $10,000 limit.
Well, one thing I know, they're trying to scare the snot out of everybody with regard to the date, which they're claiming is the 15th, which I find rather interesting because, of course, the IRS has always had April 15th, so they put it out there. There's February 15th, but actually in reality the true date is the 17th. So there's a lot of misunderstanding.
The true date of what is the 17th?
This whole issue that they say the changes in the precious metal buying and selling, and
I don't
what's supposed to be reportable and what isn't, and
I think that's a viral scare tactic.
That's what I'm saying. It is
to sell their metal because they can't get it any other way. The only people that have precious metals are the people that bought it.
Right.
Because they can't get it.
Right.
Oh, gosh. Well, what is this 27th
So
date?
That's what we were just discussing. Is this the context of the they're calling it the Day of Reckoning. It's a first notice for March delivery in the futures contracts.
Okay, so what does that mean? March delivery? They have to present physical metal for the paper.
They literally have to either So if you're a company that has basically been shorting, which is most of these bankers.
What does that mean, shorting?
They're basically selling their metal, their paper contracts. That's the first thing we need to understand here.
Okay, so it's a piece of paper that says this represents 500 ounces of silver.
5,000 ounces of silver.
Here's a piece of paper that says, I own 5,000 pieces.
No, I hold the contract, really, because they didn't actually purchase this metal.
No, but I know, but it represents physical metal.
No, it does not represent physical metal.
It's supposed to, right?
No, it does not represent. It's never represented physical metal. That's where the whole key lies in.
The Ponzi
So
scheme.
now everyone wants physical metal. That's what the issue is now. So they're turning in these contracts, trying to convert them into physical metal. They want to actually, this ability to purchase. Remember,
and why would they do that?
They're not even buying metal like you and I would have to buy it as a wholesale.
But they're trying to, right?
That's
so why would they be doing that?
Because the demand on silver is absolutely unprecedented.
Does it have anything to do with the fiat currency? I don't know how to answer that. So why would they be clawing back precious metals? Why would they do that?
Because the demand is through the roof. The Asian governments of the world have been stockpiling precious metal in physical form forever. And one of the interesting things about if you're a central bank, any central bank in this world, you can literally print currency and buy metal, and you can buy as much as you want, and that's what they've been doing forever. I mean, the Chinese government's been doing this for a long time. They don't care what the price is when you really think about it. The truth of the matter is, it could be $1,500 an ounce right now for silver.
Well, I was under the impression that they were clawing back precious metals because precious metals is considered real money, and that they were converting their fiat currency into gold-backed currency. And because of that, they have to have a physical store of value to back the currency before they can roll onto the gold standard. So is that not a thing?
So the BRICS nations are still in motion with that.
Wouldn't that put pressure on the supply and demand if countries are trying to back their fiat currency?
Well, sure, it will, because literally, not so much on the gold side
as on the silver.
But the silver side, it's a totally different story. What's happening right now, folks, is people are starting to realize that silver is a lot more rare and a lot more difficult to attain than gold is. I mean, right now we can buy virtually any product we wish from our vendors as far as gold is concerned without any issue. The silver is a whole nother story. We're seeing delays and difficulty in actually, getting it in a quick and timely manner like we once were able to. And so, and the other issue is that silver is being used. And one of the major problems with silver is
going away.
It literally is actually, it ends up in our dumps in so many different ways, because the recoverable aspect of it up until recently it wasn't positive.
Well, like a perfect example would be plated silverware. Silver plate with the dishes and platters, and that's all silver, but it's non-recoverable.
For years, we've always said no to people that come in with it. We ask them before they bring it in if they would take a look and make sure it's 925 or sterling silver, which is 92.5% pure silver, basically. The rest is copper, and sometimes they use nickel and things like that in there to just strengthen it up a little bit. But I believe it won't be long before we're starting to actually utilize that. We'll be buying it. I don't think it's going to take very much. Here's where the issue is with that. Right now, so many people, or let's put it this way, so many of us in our industry, the dealers, the dealer network, and there's tens of thousands of us that do what we do, we are basically put the stop on purchasing 925 and sterling. And that kind of thing. And the reason is because it's taking 3 to 6 months to get paid out on. It doesn't make any sense for us to invest.
That they had run out of the acid required to process it. That they couldn't get the chemicals to actually process this huge supply of sterling to turn it into 999.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you get this massive amount of material coming in, and these refineries don't have a nice nitric acid and hydrochloric acid and these acids that are used to actually break down the metals so they can refine them, in a quick and easy manner. That's a major problem.
Well, and that's a temporary problem, though. They'll catch up, and then it'll be back in the swing of things.
Yeah, the chemical companies are just going to have to, raise the amounts that they're able to produce at a much higher rate. Of course, those prices are going to go up too for the chemicals that are being used in this process. The refineries, we just don't really have enough refineries to do what needs to be done right now. When silver started raising, into that 30, 40, 50 range, people started selling in mass. I mean, we experienced this in our own store at a level that we've never ever seen before. The only thing that even comes close was 2023, but we weren't seeing even at that level the amount of sales to us, people selling to us that we just experienced over the last 6 months. the latter part of 2025 into today, it's been absolutely incredible.
Well, what is your gut feeling in the near future? Do you feel like there's going to be another slam down before it starts to really go back up again? I was listening to somebody talking about, they have the frenzied up, and then they smack it down, and then they let it go up again, and then they're going to smack it down again. Mm-hmm. Did we experience that? Or?
Well, this one that's just coming up, this February 27th date is going to be a big one, and the real issue is the fact that the short is really probably 820 million ounces of silver.
Okay,
we don't have the silver. That's
right.
What the problem is, and it's going to put these banks. It'll bankrupt the banks.
Well, but since it's paper and it doesn't exist anyway, mm-hmm. why would it matter?
They have contracts that have to be fulfilled.
I understand that. So they're calling in the physical metal on those contracts. Mm-hmm. But yet they sold these contracts that weren't attached to any physical metal. Okay, so they're going to default on the contracts.
Correct.
And then what happens?
It'll destroy them financially. We're talking about trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay? It's an enormous amount of money that they can't fulfill the obligation. And so they screwed up.
So
they totally
have emergency food, have emergency water, have emergency cash.
Yeah. What we're about to experience on the 27th with these bankers is going to explode the price of silver, because
we've heard these rumors before. We've heard the scare tactics, and
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this is going to happen on this day. Y2K.
Right. Right.
This is a Y2K false flag event,
Yeah. Where it was just like
just be calm and collected, mm-hmm. and you do what you can do, and you ride out the storm, and maybe it'll be a little bumpy.
Yeah. No, we're here as a rational voice for the people, really, with regard to precious metals and particularly silver.
Well, it sounds like the house is going to burn down on February 27th.
The price is going to explode. That's what's going to go up. There'll be flames as far as the bankers are concerned, but I don't know too many people that are watching.
Okay, so the contracts come due. They default on the contracts. Mm-hmm. How does that affect the price? Because people aren't running out to buy now, mm-hmm. because they got the wind knocked out of them.
Well, yeah. We need to take a look at what's going on right now. We're still 85. I try to emphasize this. We've never been at these numbers before. Even though it got beat down 40 points, but $40 worth of.
Yeah, within minutes. It was insane.
It was seconds, literally. We never seen anything like it.
Oh my gosh.
What we saw in gold alone was unprecedented. We gained almost $700. And the next day it was completely wiped out.
Yeah.
And so the increases have been astonishing. But what this tells us as a community of the people is that the next round is going to be more incredible as far as the increases are concerned. We will bypass that 121 like it was absolutely nothing, just like we bypassed 100 like it was nothing.
Exactly.
We actually went into 100, and it wasn't even a story. We finally hit the century mark in silver, and it wasn't even a story because guess what? It settled at that day, I think, at 102. The first day it actually entered into $100 bill. This silver issue is bigger than people realize.
This is really, we are witnessing the death of the dollar.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening.
This is the value of the dollars is crashing, and we are witnessing historically the death of the dollar mm-hmm. in real time. Mm-hmm. And anytime the dollar falters, precious metals go up.
Yeah, it's really true. And
so what happens when the dollar completely dies?
So, if we had that level of a crash, there's going to be probably 2 to 3 weeks of pain.
Of blood in the streets.
Well, it could be that brutal. You know, when you, I always said that when you go to the gas station and you run that card and you know there's funds in your account, but yet either your credit card or your debit card, you know, and that thing doesn't work anymore. That's the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna
have some cash on hand, folks.
Yeah, it'll sneak up on you and even better than that.
A thief in the night.
Very much so, and I think that those that are tuned in and watching and listening, you know, to social media, I believe, are probably going to have one up on everybody else about what's about to happen. And we're telling you right now that the 27th is going to be a significant day. We're going to see an effect in our lives because of what these bankers and billionaires have done and are doing right now. They're trying to save their ass, basically, is what they're doing. They're literally trying to save their butts.
Okay.
And we don't have much time left as far as that's concerned. I can tell you that by the end of the first quarter of March, you know, the end of March, we will see substantial changes in the pricing of silver and gold.
Okay,
but here's the issue about it. It really doesn't matter anymore what the price is if you can't get it. You pay any price for that which you can't get, you know? And that's people don't believe this, but it's about to happen. We're going to get to a point to where you're going to go into a shop in your local area, just like us, and there's a few of us that do this in our area, and we won't have any more metal.
Well, this is a perfect analogy for that, because I remember years ago, we were talking to somebody about Bitcoin. And it was at $350 a coin. And I just felt like that was so expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wouldn't buy a Bitcoin for $350 today?
Of course.
That's kind of where silver's going to be. Oh my gosh, I could have bought silver at $250 an ounce, Greg. Well, I started buying silver when it was $250 an ounce, and now it's at $1,500 or whatever it is. Yeah,
that's a very good analogy.
Like in the early 1900s, you could buy a acre of land with 1 ounce of silver. You could buy a house with 20 ounces of silver. Right. We're getting there, guys.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
It's going to be exactly like Melody's talking about. It's going to be woulda, coulda, shoulda.
The true value of silver is going to be, I'm going to trade you my 1 ounce of silver for a house or for a plot of land.
A lot of the pros in this industry are talking a lot about this kind of thing right now, about the true value of silver. It's been so suppressed for so long,
we've taken it for granted.
Almost 2 centuries. The modern world has absolutely suppressed what is real money, which is silver. Yeah. It truly is the people's money.
We're newbies, really, when you consider it. We've been dealing with precious metals for 15 years.
20 years,
20
actually,
years.
Total, yeah.
And when we first started, it was $5 an ounce.
Yeah, when we first got into this, Melody and I were dealers for a small mint that had an operation in Utah County. And their product was just starting to get out there, and there was a lot of excitement at that point. Interestingly,
and it was $5 an ounce.
It was $5 an ounce, and actually within months it went up to $7.
Well, yeah,
because I remember laughing about. Now I laugh about it now, but back then it was just kind of like, and this was more than 20 years ago.
And the premium was 90 cents.
Yeah, we were attempting to make
99 cents.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we were lucky if we made. And even 50 cents
an ounce back then. Yeah,
and there was a lot of
but that felt very abundant back then.
It felt
when you
something. I don't know if I would call it abundant. It felt pretty decreasive, actually.
Anyway, who wouldn't want an ounce of silver for
Oh my gosh.
$9 an ounce with a 99-cent premium.
I tell you, and a lot of you can probably feel the same way about things that you look at your past. But back then, it was just like we had a guy that actually came into the store, and he was buying a whole 1,000 ounces, and at the time, of course, it was costing $7 an ounce. So we were looking at each other, going, "Oh my gosh, who has $7,000 to buy 1,000 ounces of silver?"
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, it's true.
Nothing has changed. Yeah. The amount has changed, but it's still like, who has the money for that? Well, you know what? You've got enough money to get 1 ounce. You don't have to have thousands of dollars to plunk down.
Right.
I mean, there are people that do and that have that, but the single mom can come in and get 1/10 ounce of silver for $15.
Right.
You can nickel and dime yourself to wealth and security just as much as you can nickel and dime yourself to poverty. So think about that, guys.
That's a good...
Get what you can afford.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can afford a silver dime, then get a silver dime and just keep buying, keep holding, hang on, buckle up, because it will outperform your 401.
Yeah, buckle up, Buttercup.
No, I'm not saying don't do your 401.
Yeah.
I'm just saying do what you can do and just and hang on, because it's a long-term investment.
No,
it's not a flip the house thing.
Melody's was absolutely right on when she said that, it'll get to a point to where, I actually was able to buy an ounce of silver for $250. Guys, we're not kidding about this. Look, gold was $24 an ounce for a very, very long time. $24 an ounce.
We're impatient.
Well, I think we are.
We want the gratification, the quick, the ice cream now. We don't want to have to wait. We want security now. We want the quick thing. We want the run.
Yeah.
But slow down and keep breathing and ask yourself, what would wisdom do? And if wisdom says, okay, I'll take my $500 and I'll just get what I can get, then do that.
Yeah.
If it says, okay, I've got $25, what can I get for $25? Get the nickels and get the dimes and the quarters. There's something there for you, but it is going to be a long-term investment.
Yeah,
think of it that way.
Absolutely. It's really been a real pleasure to be able to get as much metal as we've been able to move here in our area here, southern Utah. For the years that we've been here, we're honored to be able to do that. Nowadays, we don't get people coming in and saying, "Darn you, Greg, for selling me that silver 5 years ago." It's more like, thank you. Just
there's
words.
Another aspect to the business that we haven't really talked about, and that's the scrap gold, the broken jewelry, the ring that doesn't fit anymore, or the relationship that broke up, and you still have this ring or this piece of jewelry that represents a failed relationship. Outflow it. Take advantage of it.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Sell it, and bring it in. We'll make you an offer on it. Also, the small antiques and collectibles, the cool things, the antique guns, the old mechanical banks. We love those. Anything that's
we love unique and special as far as those items. And that's another thing we should talk about is what Gold Ore Store does. It's actually we've always been a very unique store.
Well, and precious metals isn't the only form of gold that people own. They have really unique, fun things.
They do.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure. We've had people bring it into us incredibly unique things from the Civil War era.
We sold a
Second World War.
No, it was a Civil War wooden leg.
Yeah, that we'll never forget that because that was just such a fun, fun item.
So unique. Yeah, we had a lock of hair from Abraham Lincoln. There's a company here in Utah. You can look them up, goldback.com, and you can see what their value is. Every single day they post the value of those. And it's 24 karat gold in a bill form. Mm-hmm. We actually have the Constitution in a goldback that is, how big is it?
Oh, it's pretty big.
It's pretty unique.
2.5 by almost 3 feet.
Yeah, it's a poster size. It's 24 karat gold. It's what, an eighth of an ounce of gold?
It's 8 grams.
8 grams of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if you ever wondered what a piece of paper in gold would be like, come and check out the Goldbacks. There's several states that have gold as legal tender. Utah was the first. Mm-hmm. We actually have gold and silver as legal tender. And so those Goldbacks are legal tender. And there's several states. You've got Florida, Oklahoma, Arizona, New Hampshire, Wyoming, Montana, mm-hmm. Utah, Nevada.
But yeah. No, they're really neat. The artwork in them in the last 2 years
the state.
Has been stunning, to say the least. They got a new artist over the last couple of years, and it literally kind of changed the total image of the pieces. They put didn't Utah just came up to vote, making it legal to use gold and silver for debts in the state of Utah? Yes. We're not completely clear on how this is going to work. Supposedly, yes, you're going to be able to use gold and silver to pay. I'm assuming.
Well, and I think those Goldbacks are going to come, and it's going to be exchangeable.
Yeah, it could be.
And
it could be.
When we first started selling those Goldbacks 3 years ago, they were $3 mm-hmm. for a one denomination. That one denomination today is $10.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, it's over $10 actually.
Yeah, it's like so cool because your money grows with the market.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You don't lose your buying power mm-hmm. like a fiat dollar with Goldbacks. Your buying power increases with the market. Mm-hmm. And I think they're making that form of payment in the state of Utah. I think they voted on it a few days ago.
I hope so. The problem with the way the original bill was written back in 2011 was that they didn't write it very well. In other words, it was great for you and I, which in reality we could always do a transaction anyway. If you and I you've got a vehicle.
Dealerships I've heard that have called us and said, how much is this worth? Because they took gold coins in trade for a vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's happening.
So from what we gather, they just go to Kelley Blue Book and look up the valuation, and that's how they tax you, which is, we could get into a whole taxation thing a whole nother time. But anyway, so it's all basically assessed on a valuation anyway in U.S. dollars, when it comes down to it, no matter what. But we're getting closer to a process that actually is really, I think, valuable for the people if they decide they want to go that way.
Be very, very cautious purchasing precious metals from a neighbor or a friend, because they may not realize that what they have is fake. And we've had some situations come to our attention where the neighbor bought, silver eagles mm-hmm. from a neighbor, and they weren't silver eagles.
Oh boy,
but they looked like silver eagles. So
this silver eagle thing, it's become a kind of a plague in the environment because
it's just one product that they fake. They fake Sunshine Mint bars.
They do.
The Engelhart. We had a fake Engelhart come into the store the other day. It was a 100-ounce bar, and it was copper.
But they love going at the U.S. Mint stuff. And interestingly enough, let's just touch on this really quickly before we have to complete today's podcast. Look, folks, if you're buying anything on eBay or any other forum that is actually below spot, it's most likely fake. In fact, in almost 100% of times, I can guarantee, unless it's a big supplier, like some of them online, where they're doing a promotion where you can buy, one or two at spot or something of that nature. Again, if it's below spot, it's not real, and you're going to end up getting burned on this deal, and you're going to be, when you bring those type of things into a store like ours, we actually question the individual who's attempting to get full silver rate value, at least spot on these things, at a pretty heavy level, because those things are confiscatable, because they are...
If it's a counterfeit coin, it's a coin, then that's considered counterfeit. If it doesn't say copy on it, or it has a denomination on it, it's a counterfeit coin.
Right.
It has to be taken out of circulation.
Yeah. So coin is any denominated coin that has actually been minted by the U.S. Treasury.
Not even if it was minted by somebody else.
Right.
If it has a denomination on it, it's considered a counterfeit.
That's very true. There's been a few...
Norfed, for example.
Yeah, Norfed
was a mint.
Yeah, I actually really respect what they were doing and everything, but yeah, you put that dollar sign or anything, any kind of valuation on it based on a U.S. dollar.
Yeah, they were minting silver rounds. They were really beautiful. They had the Liberty, like from the Mercury. No, not.
Well, no,
it was
their own design.
Oh, okay.
It was Lady Liberty, their own design.
Lady Liberty, their own design. They put $1 denomination on it, and they're sitting in federal prison for a counterfeit coin. It didn't look anything like any coin.
No.
It was clearly a round of silver, pure silver. It was beautifully minted. We actually have one in our store if you want to see it. But
yeah. So anyway, we want to thank you for this time and ability to get in front of the folks and talk about a lot of different things today. Hopefully it was valuable to you. Give us some feedback on, its value. Give us some thumbs up. And
like and share.
Yeah, like and share. We love that.
Get our message out there.
We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. So we're also doing reels every week. So
also, if you have a particular topic or a question that you would like us to address on our podcast, the next podcast we'll be doing is in a couple of weeks. Email us at thegoldorstore@gmail.com with your questions or your concerns, and we will try to address those in our next podcast.
All right. Thanks, folks.